Guys, let's play a little game here with a couple of teams. I'm going to ask you if a team is rightly placed, wrongly placed by the committee, or properly placed. Okay. And we will start with Indiana. Look, Indiana's Cinderella run has been one of the more fun runs, I think, to watch throughout college football this year. But obviously their strength of schedule has been a highly debated talking point. Based on the resume up to this point, Matt, do you think Indiana properly ranked, underranked, overranked? What do you say?
Overall ranked, I think they are a little high, being at number 5. Now, seeded, I see that a little bit more in the proper position that they deserve to be in. They've been handling business. They're doing a great job. They're executing at a high level. They're a tough football team that plays hard from start to finish. There's very few mental errors when you watch them play. Their quarterback is in the Heisman discussion, rightfully so, because he is playing phenomenal football. They run the football efficiently well, and they protect the quarterback consistently. The whole season, though, unfortunately for them, rides on this weekend. And we discussed it on our show this last weekend. It's got to be one of those situations. You got to play hard from start to finish. It has to be a good loss, if you know what I mean, for them. It's got to be, you got to hang in there. Yeah, if you get blown out, I think that this is a team that can drop very far out of the rankings and out of position. I don't really see them, being able to stay in that playoff contention if they lose by 3 touchdowns or more.
Here's my concern here, Scoob, and I want to come to you on this point because I think we have more empirical data now with these expanded conferences, say an 18-team or a 16-team conference.
Yeah.
Ohio State plays in the same conference as Indiana.
Right.
But you might as well be comparing New Hampshire to Washington because that's how different their schedules have been.
Yeah.
Indiana has played none of the top 7 teams in the Big Ten up to this point. After they play Purdue at the end of the season, they will have played 6 of the 7 worst teams in the conference. My concern is this. With Indiana ranked 5th, Scoob, I find it hard to believe that with a close loss to Ohio State that they would drop out of the field, which is why I have an issue of where they are currently ranked. Now, obviously, that's going to change. The question becomes by how much after this weekend?
Yeah. I think they just lose their opportunity for a home game, right?
That's it. That's the only consequence.
Yeah, that's the only consequence for me right now. And we're looking at our tag board, and people are reacting to Indiana as well. Joey was pretty funny on the show with the way that he was talking about Indiana.
He did say
Purdue caught a straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And check me out on the bottom of the screen there on the left side. That's my surprise to all these tweets that are going on. But I will say back to Indiana, Sam, that they're ranked a little bit too high at number 5, and still, regardless, they're locked for the playoffs, in my opinion. We said this last week. If they lose this game against Ohio State, just make sure you keep it under 21 before they ask you to pass the sticks. Besides that, you lose a game, you're in there because their body of work has been large enough for them to not fall all the way out. But who knows, since BYU got the boot with the way that they're losing the game.
That's true. And this only helps Ohio State's case, too, as far as where their official ranking will be at the end, especially potentially then going to the Big Ten championship and maybe having a rematch against Oregon. Now, the other question, too, really is just, for Indiana, right, is there enough to keep them in it with a close loss? I think there is.
Okay.
All right, the big loss, that is the question. And I think for them, can they play well, right, in the biggest game of their careers, essentially, right, of the campus's, lifespan right now. This is the biggest game we've ever seen for the Indiana Hoosiers. And Ohio State, they're used to playing in this scenario. That's all they do is play in big games every single week. They're a highly criticized football team. Indiana, this is newfound territory for them, so we'll see if they can live up to the expectations.
So I asked the YouTube chat, hey, everybody in the YouTube chat, my laptop's right here. I'm peep gaming what y'all saying tonight. I said, what are y'all thoughts on Indiana? And a lot of people said, oh, Indiana hasn't played anyone yet, but I hope they do good. So sick of the SEC. That's one dude they traded there. And then some people are just saying Indiana and the other teams, they really haven't played any good teams on paper. So we will